Welcome to Nerd on Nerd with me, Jack Hempster.
And me, Liam Underwood. In this episode, we're going to be discussing Snowpiercer, the movie. But before we get to that, it's time for my favourite segment, catching up with Jack and Liam. So, Jack, catch us up on what you've been up to.
Liam, I've not been up to much, as people who regularly listen to this show are going to start realising.
Okay.
But I have been sort of playing Pokémon Go.
Oh, no.
Yep.
And?
It's not that good.
I'm not surprised.
No. It's a shock to... Well, I think some people are shocked. I personally am not surprised.
I'm not. Okay, if this is to our listeners, not to you. If you're a fan of Pokemon, fine. I used to be one of you. But I've realised lately that I'm kind of over Pokemon.
Right.
What
makes you say that?
I picked up Pokemon Alpha Sapphire a couple of months ago.
Uh-huh.
And, I think when you've had a game that you really enjoyed as a kid, I think it's not unusual every now and again to get that, pull to want to go back to it.
Yep, I've definitely done that.
Yeah, and because, the Pokemon games are so repeatable, it's not like I didn't have a strong affinity to, a certain version. So I picked up Alpha Sapphire because it was just in my local game shop. I figured I'd get a little bit of Pokemon dosage. Probably played it for about 5 hours and just realised I wasn't enjoying it.
Okay, that's unusual. You don't hear that very often, but
no,
fair enough.
I used to love Pokemon. Don't get me wrong. I was all about Pokemon Red, then I was all about Pokemon Gold, and it just continued from there, really. I do think they peaked with Pokemon Gold, personally.
You think they peaked on their second game?
Yeah. So Pokemon
Gold... ringing
Gold...
endorsement of Pokemon.
Pokemon Gold had so many improvements over Pokemon Red that I feel like any other subsequent releases didn't have that amount of improvements. And every Pokemon game has tried to do something new, and it's rare that the new things work in the way that they did with Pokemon Gold and Silver.
I get what you're saying, but that's a weird way to rate something.
What do you mean?
Well, to me, you should rate something based on itself. I get you've got to take into account what's around it and what was before and stuff. But at the same time, it feels weird to rate a game and say, well, it wasn't as good because they didn't add as much stuff.
No, I get that. I'm just saying, the thing with Pokemon, right? The one thing they always add is more Pokemon, and that's got to a point now where it's quite frankly just ridiculous. Some of the Pokemon.
I get people say that a lot, right? And they are ridiculous. Fair enough, they're running out of ideas or whatever. Yeah. But at the same time, what else could they do? Everyone would hate it so much more if they released the next Pokemon game. Say Sun and Moon come out.
Yeah.
And a week before they go, guess what we've done? We've cut all of the Pokemon. We're down to 151 again. No one would like that. You might, because you're weird.
I'm 100% in agreement with you. People wouldn't like it. It's just, at what point do you say enough's enough? And I think I've reached that point.
They can't. As long as they're making games, they can't stop adding
they can't, but I can.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
So I've reached that point and I'm just I'm done.
But Liam, Pokemon Go
yeah,
only has the 151 in it.
Yeah, I know, but it's also trying to encourage you to actually go outside and stuff.
I mean, I discovered today at work that I could get a certain area thing and collect items because I was just in range of it if I sat in my office.
Yeah. I don't know if that's how you're meant to be playing it.
I mean, I then at lunch went out because I was I'm going to, as much as I'm not a fan of this game, I was I'm going to give it its fair try.
Yeah.
And go and actually try it. So I went for a full hour lunch break where I basically wandered the streets of London getting Pokemon and items.
Yeah, it seems to be so I've seen on Twitter and a few people on Facebook, it is currently getting people outside, which I guess is a good thing, especially since it's summer. But yeah. I don't like the look of it. I'm going to be honest. The issues are that they've dropped the traditional battle mechanics, right?
Which sucks because that's
that's the tactical part of it.
Yeah. Effectively, there is no tactical part of it. Catching Pokemon is you don't even battle the wild Pokemon to catch them.
How do you catch them then?
You literally just a Pokeball appears on your screen and you flick it with your finger towards the Pokemon.
But you have to weaken them to make it easier to catch them, right?
Nope.
What about paralysing them or putting them to sleep?
You're doing this pretentious thing, but that's...
What
don't be a
pretentious thing?
dick.
No, I'm just
You're doing the whole,
asking.
like, whoa, but they've done... But usually it's this. We've already established that they've dropped that, Liam.
Yeah, I'm just asking how the game works as someone
Don't
who
be
hasn't
pedantic.
played Pokemon Go.
You just catch them by flicking the Pokeballs. What
Right.
they do, but before you get all high and mighty,
Would
they
I?
do have battling in it.
Okay.
But the battling is with, at level 5, which I'm not at yet,
Okay.
you get, you can unlock gym, which are areas that you can, like, so if you're out on the street, sometimes you'll see a gym,
Yeah.
and you battle there. And the battle mechanics, from what I understand, because I haven't played them yet, are that you swipe left and right to dodge.
I'm
and
not a
then
fan of this.
Tap your Pokemon to make it do its attack. So each Pokemon has one attack.
And what kind of decides where a gym is?
That's probably based on the same... Like, I don't know, Liam, because I don't have access to the back code of it.
Yeah, but so it's not like someone can hit level 5 and then be like, right, I'm going to set up a gym here. The gyms are
No, you don't set up a gym. The
predetermined.
gyms exist, yeah.
Yeah.
It's but it's basically the people that made this are the same people that made another game called Ingress a while ago, which people might know, probably not.
I don't.
But it was basically it was done with Google, so it uses like areas of interest because the whole point is like basically areas that you can pick up items or areas that are gyms are areas that are like interesting or like for some reason show up on Google Maps. So it's not like every shop,
Yeah.
but the ones in London, a lot of them are the. Do you know the blue plaques in London?
Yes, yeah.
So it's a lot of them are them.
So for people that don't know, would you like to explain what they are?
It's basically like famous people that were like historically important to England or London, I guess.
Yeah.
Like say they lived somewhere, you get a blue plaque on that building which says, you know,
Are they
whoever
just
lived here.
in London, or do you get them in other
I don't know.
parts?
I think you might get them in other places, but I don't know if I've ever seen one in another place.
Okay, because I was thinking, you know, maybe like Liverpool or something, you'd get a couple for like the Beatles and whatnot.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't know.
Okay.
But so yeah, I think a lot of them are that, and like Victoria train station's one,
Yeah.
and stuff like that. And then some of them are just gyms. I don't know how it decides which ones are gyms,
Okay.
but some of them are.
And so what the Pokemon, are they also kind of you're guaranteed to find them in this location, or is it random?
No, it's random. As you're walking around, you just like encounter wild Pokemon.
So let's say you're walking side by side with a friend and you both have Pokemon Go up. Would you both see the same Pokemon in an area, or is it random for each person?
Now, Liam,
Yeah.
before I answer that,
Yeah.
I want to run through something with you.
Cool.
Now, this game
Yeah.
has been officially released in America, New Zealand, and Japan.
Yes.
It's not had a UK release yet.
I thought it was released in London.
No.
Okay.
What?
I thought it'd been released in the UK.
No.
Okay.
How would they do a area-specific release in the
I
UK?
don't know how it works.
Clearly not. But, so I got it.
Yeah.
Doing a bit of, you know, higgledy-piggledy. Using my tech magic, Liam.
Yeah.
And not many other people do have it. So when you ask me questions like, will your friends see the same Pokemon?
Yeah.
My only answer to that is I don't fucking know.
Okay. That's good to know.
Yeah.
So here's a
I'd
question.
assume not.
Okay.
Because otherwise every person playing it would just steal Pokemon from each other. Like, one would appear and everyone would just go for it, and then what's the point?
Okay, so my question, which I think you will be able to answer, is what's the rarest Pokemon you've caught so far?
I don't know, because I don't know how rarity's decided in it. Like,
What's the best Pokemon you've caught then?
the one with the highest, like, they have a CP rating, which is like how good they are in battle, effectively.
Okay.
And you can like power that up and stuff, make them stronger.
I
And
thought
the one that I've
CP meant like how much they could move in battle, like combat points.
Yeah, it's not a fucking JRPG, Liam. It's like I said, the battle is literally you tap Pokemon and swipe left and right.
Okay, I don't know how it works, Jack.
I did explain that though. So,
Yeah, I know, but it sounded really boring.
Yeah, I wish you wouldn't tune out when I'm explaining shit to you.
No, I was listening. I just maybe was kind of thinking about other things at the time.
Right. Well, so that decides how strong they are. The one
Yeah.
that I've got that's the highest in that is a Drowsy.
Oh, Drowsy's pretty cool.
Yeah, I like Drowsy and Hypno.
So a couple more questions.
Go on.
Can you level up your Pokemon?
I don't know. I don't think they have like a level. I've not seen a level stat, but you can
Right.
power them up.
So how do you evolve them?
So basically, when you catch a Pokemon,
Yeah.
you get something called. So say I catch these Drowsies, because I've been catching a fuck ton of them
Okay.
because they're fucking everywhere in London. Apparently, London famous for hypnosis.
Yeah.
So I caught a load of them. Every time you catch one, you get like an amount of this stuff called blah 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 candy. So for Drowsy, you get Drowsy candy.
Yeah.
For Bulbasaur, you get a Bulbasaur candy.
Yeah, we got you.
Yep. To evolve them, you need a fixed amount of that. So Drowsy is 25. Bulbasaur's 25 because he evolves to a second stage, then a third. Drowsy's 50. And that's how you evolve them.
So I understand that you might not know the answer to this.
Yep, go on.
But a Pokemon like Alakazam, for example, who you would traditionally get by trading...
that will evolve with the normal, just evolve with power-up.
I'm going to be honest, this game sounds fucking stupid.
Yeah.
So, after playing it for, what, half a day now?
Probably a day.
A day. What's your kind of verdict on it?
I'm going to keep playing it. Mm-hmm. I like the fact that it gets me out and I can walk around London and have something to do.
Yeah.
Like, I'll probably do the same thing tomorrow, like take an hour lunch break and just wander around.
Yeah.
The way I described it was, it's a bad Pokemon game, but it's a fun thing to be doing whilst you're walking around.
Okay, so how could they make it a better Pokemon game, in your opinion?
Every time you ask me this question, I complain at you, because I think it's a stupid question, and I hate this sort of logic.
Why?
But you insist on doing it. I don't know, it's because it's weird, because the answer, like the legitimate answer to this question is, make it a Pokemon game, which is ridiculous, because clearly there's a reason they haven't done that, right?
Surely just complexity, right?
Because it's like someone saying, how would you make this film better? And you go, well, Die Hard was a better film, so I guess the film would be Die Hard. And then you're like, but then it's not High School Musical anymore. And they go, well, yeah.
Well, see, there's definitely ways to make films better that aren't just change the film entirely. It could be, for example, use more of this character or
maybe it's just the
less
phrasing
of
of
that
the
character.
question.
I mean, basically what I'm saying is...
I need you to add parameters, Liam. I need you to say, how would you make this game better whilst... And then sort of lay out some foundation rules for me. No,
I think that the kind of question is... Because it's always... I think you're focusing on the wrong part of the question. It's how would you make this game better? So for this game to be something that you would enjoy more... So ignore other people.
I understand completely. So what it would do is the game would drop the any battle mechanic. I would have no battle mechanics in it.
Okay.
I'd keep some form of capture mechanic in there. Maybe I'd change the one that's in there already, I'm not sure.
Okay.
But then the entire game would be based on breeding Pokemon.
Okay, so you'd be like that creepy, pervy, elderly couple that you go and take your Dittos and whatever else to.
No, I can't remember who the character was in the cartoon, but there was a specific person that went around with Ash who became a breeder. It might be... Did Brock become a breeder in the end?
I don't know.
Possibly, Liam. So yeah, more like that. He was creepy though, so I guess, yeah. Maybe it's only creepy people that become Pokemon breeders.
I think Brock, everyone... I don't know if they ever answered this, but no one could figure out his eyes. Did he have eyes or not? Because
eyes?
They were very different to every other characters. I didn't know. I thought he was blind.
Really?
Yeah, his eyes are different to everyone else's.
He responds to things though, Liam, like Nurse Joy. Like he sees Nurse Joy and responds. Ash doesn't go, look, Brock, it's Nurse Joy, and then Brock goes, oh, sexy Nurse Joy.
He might have developed some Daredevil-like abilities. We don't know.
I don't think that's what it is.
So why were his eyes drawn differently?
Because that's like a thing they do in Japanese anime to represent people. Like old sort of wise people in anime tend to have that sort of eye, the closed line.
So is that basically saying that he's wise? Is that why?
No, Liam. I don't think it's a code that they use. I think it's just I don't know what it's meant to mean.
Well, no, because it could have been like in the anime stuff, you get that weird like. The only way I can describe it is like a cross that's been slightly tilted that kind of represents when they're angry, you know, and it sort of pulses on like the side of their head.
Right, yeah.
You know, so that's like shorthand for...
That's not eyes, though.
No, I know, she's using it as an example, so maybe they do those eyes to signify wisdom, like they do the cross
eyes don't change.
to do anger. Yeah, I don't know. Wisdom doesn't change, does it? If someone's wise...
Jesus, we're getting real philosophical. Liam.
Yeah?
What the fuck have you been up to?
Well, Jack, I have been having an adventure in the bedroom.
Do I want to know?
I don't know, do you?
Listeners, forgive me for this, but yes, I think so.
So, lately, maybe the last week or so, I've been waking up with a bit of a pain in the old back and legs.
Okay.
Now, listeners might not know this, but, you know, I'm getting on a little bit. And because of that, I got myself a memory foam mattress to support all of my aching joints while I'm sleeping.
Got you.
So obviously, when I'm waking up in more pain than when I'm going to bed, something clearly isn't right there, is it? And I'm not doing any activities that are making things hurt.
Now, just real quick, is that the issue, that you don't do any activities?
Well, I do exercise quite a lot.
Do you do the right kind of exercise?
Yeah.
Back exercises?
Yeah.
Is that a thing?
Sort of. I mean, most exercises will feature your back in some form.
Not doing those ones where you lift up a weight with your arm and you've got your like elbow resting on your knee.
Pretty sure that'd be hard to do without a back.
True.
Yeah. So so I did some investigating and did some Googling. Has anyone else had issues with these memory foams? Because every time
I was really hoping you'd say, has anyone else heard of Google? Listeners, have you heard of this wonderful site called Google?
It is a good site, to be fair.
It is, yeah.
I don't think they'll sponsor us, though. Then again, Adam and Eve didn't sponsor us, did they? So
Not yet. You're so... As soon as someone doesn't sponsor us within one episode, you're like, fuck them.
yeah. Well, you know, let's not say that. Let's leave the door open for them to sponsor us. But come on, what are you waiting for? Anyway.
Sorry, so you Googled,
I Googled...
Has anyone else had problems with memory foam mattresses?
Like... It hasn't, like, when I bought this a while back, the person, like, the shop I bought it from was saying, oh, it's amazing, I've got one, it completely changes the way I sleep, I never want to leave it. And I never really, you know, I've had that experience with it, so I just figured they were, you know, chatting shit to get the sale, right?
I have a memory foam mattress and I love it.
Here's the thing, every time I go into a shop, they're like, oh, if you've got back pain, memory foam mattress is 100% the way to go. Because I went to other shops and was like, have I got the right thing here? Everyone says yes. So, right. Can't be the mattress, okay? So then...
Oh, sorry. Yeah, no, carry on.
No, go on. What were you going to say?
Just, like, this is a legit, I'm trying to be helpful question.
Yeah.
Like, how do you sleep? What, like, you know, you get side liars, back liars, front
Oh,
liars.
I 100% sleep on my side.
Ah.
And I also know...
Seriously?
Yeah.
That could be it.
Yeah, and I know from science that I'm very hip-heavy when I sleep.
I don't know what that means, but okay.
So, there's a shop called Benson for Beds.
Yeah.
And they have a bed that you lie on, and they got, like, it's all hooked up to an electronic doodad, and they kind of beep, beep, beep on it, and it scans how you sleep, so it can kind of say what a good mattress would be, like firmness and stuff. And when I sleep, I was lying on it, and they did the scan, and, like, all of my weight goes to my hips.
Yeah, so stop lying on your side.
Yeah, but it's the most comfortable way for me to sleep.
Clearly fucking not, because you're waking up in pain.
Have you tried to change the way you sleep?
Yes!
How has it worked? Because I wake up just back on my side. I can't fall asleep on my back, and I sometimes can on my front, but then I just wake up on my side. You just got to train yourself. It's because you get in your head about it. If you just lie down on your back... I can't do it on my back.
I'm also a side sleeper.
Yeah.
But my back is also bad, but not as bad as yours.
No. Well, you're not quite as old, are you? You've still
That's what it is, yeah.
Full of beans.
My body's still trying to recover.
Yeah.
Yours has just given up.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I don't know. I've done, you know, I don't know.
Well, I did some investigating, right? And I basically did the Google, and I found on a little website called Mumsnet.
Oh, God, no.
Someone had asked a question.
No, why are you going on Mumsnet?
Because someone had asked a question.
They're the worst people.
Someone had asked a question. Oh. What people are they?
They're the ones that cause all the controversy.
Oh, I didn't know that. I just was hoping
they're real
they'd
bad, man.
figure. So
Mumsnet is like it's a horrible community that like causes a lot of issues.
Well, they had the answer.
What was the answer?
So here's the thing: if you don't have the mattress on a flat surface, it contorts to the surface it's on, right? And they're made for flat surfaces. So the bed frame that my mattress was on is old as balls and is like buckled. So the mattress was kind of dipping in the middle, and that's what was causing all these issues. So I got so annoyed with it the other night that I took the mattress off my bed, put my bed to one side of the room, and now I'm sleeping on the floor in a very kind of bohemian style, and it's improving my back.
Okay, I have, I don't know, notes, points, questions.
Yeah.
All of the above.
I thought you might.
How do I put this to you in a way that doesn't... Because I'm worried that sometimes the listeners might, like, without knowing us personally, just assume that we're two people that despise each other.
Okay.
Like, I'm worried about that, Liam. I sometimes think, do the listeners think that Jack and Liam are like held together by the money that's involved in this podcast. Trust us, it's not that.
See, this isn't a concern of mine because it's always you that comes across as the mean one.
That's the thing. My issue is I come across as the mean one, but I actually mean well most of the time.
Okay, well, what's the question, and we'll judge that.
Well, I've sort of dug a hole here because
Yeah.
I'm definitely not going to. I'm not going to be nice to you here.
Okay.
But how the fuck
Yeah.
have you been lying on a? Because in my head you've said a buckled frame, and in my
Yeah.
head I'm honestly picturing like sort of a boomerang shaped.
Yeah, it's not that bad. So let me explain.
I mean that's what I'm picturing though, and I'm like, how was your first thought? Like, oh, it's got to be this mattress, and not it's got to be my fucking dented bed frame.
The thing is, right,
which is making my mattress buckle in the middle.
Right, let me explain. Do you know some bed frames? They're like two blocks that you kind of fit together.
Yeah. I've got one of them right now. Yeah.
Exactly. So that's the bed frame that I was on. So I thought that if it like that wouldn't really buckle because of the way it's fitted together.
No, the insides of each individual frame can like fuck up.
That's what happened.
Yeah, that happened to my uni bed.
Yeah, so now I've got rid of that sort of. Well, I haven't got rid of it. It's currently in the side of my room, stacked up. And yeah, I'm on the floor. But that's the issue. Like, it wasn't proper buckling, but it must have been enough that when I then went to lay on the mattress on top, it wasn't properly distributing my weight.
To be fair, that does actually make sense. Like, because you don't notice it at first, and then suddenly something will happen, and you'll go, "Oh, there is like a huge fucking dip in this bed."
Exactly.
But yeah, no, okay, fair enough. I get you.
So here's the next issue, right?
Go on.
I found a new bed frame. It comes with a free mattress at the moment, and I asked them any way to get it without the free mattress, because I don't know if you know, but getting rid of a mattress is hard.
Yeah. I don't know personally, but I am aware that.
Like it wouldn't fit in my car, so I couldn't just take it to the dump. And also, mattresses are the sort of things that people don't tend to buy second-hand off eBay.
Yeah.
So, what they've suggested is, in 2 weeks' time, they're having a sale, and they're going to get rid of the free mattress deal, and reduce just the frame itself by 50 quid.
Okay.
So I have to come back in 2 weeks' time, and buy the frame then. So, for the next 2 weeks, I'm sleeping on the floor.
Why have you not... Like, there must be other frames.
I looked in 3 shops, Jack.
Have you been to an Ikea?
No, there isn't one that's, like, near me. Like,
Really?
it's like an hour drive away, and it's a real ball ache to actually drive
it's
into.
worth it, though. Ikea is worth any journey.
No,
It's the most fun you can have.
I've had so many problems with Ikea.
That's because you're not playing the pencil game, so that's your
Yeah, I know. And also, last time I went now, I brought a load of cabinets and stuff, and then didn't think about getting them in my car, and it was just a fucking nightmare.
Yeah, but if you're just going for a bed frame...
Yeah, that's not going to fit in my car.
A flat pack bed?
Probably
I've
won't.
got quite a small car.
Yeah. Actually, my car's quite a normal size now.
That's true. I'm picturing your old car for some reason.
Yeah, but even so, I'd probably have to get it delivered, in which case I might as well just go on the Ikea website, which I probably should do at some point. But I really like the frame I saw.
Because what is this frame you've seen? What's so special about it?
Nothing, it's just... Like, I needed a frame that had storage underneath, because I've got things that I put under the bed.
Oh?
Nothing weird, just like...
Some Adam and Eve memorabilia?
Well, maybe if they got in touch. No, I've got like my old Wii console under the bed.
Oh, that's less exciting. Carry on.
And like a Dexter poster.
Boring.
Which isn't even mine, it's Cat's.
Jesus Christ.
The Wii steering wheel controllers.
I don't need a list of all the shit you keep under your bed.
Well, it did ask. It
Unless
sounded
it
like you
ends
asked
with
one.
dildos.
Well, until Adam and Eve send us a big box of dildos, no. Like, I haven't purchased any of my own sex toys yet.
Oh.
But if Adam and Eve sponsored us, sent us some samples, and then maybe gave us a discount code we could use, who knows? Who knows? So yeah, so that was the big bed catastrophe that's been going on in my life lately. You'll be pleased to know your favourite segment's return, Jack.
Yeah?
Liam went to the cinema, and now it's time for his spoiler-free review of the film that he saw at the cinema.
I think mine had a better name.
Yeah, can you remember it?
No.
Exactly.
What film did you see, Liam?
I saw Central Intelligence.
I've never heard of it.
Have you not?
I don't think so.
It stars Dwayne The Rock Johnson
Okay.
and Kevin Hart.
Oh, have I seen stuff online about it? Maybe.
I mean,
I'm not sure.
they've released a trailer for it ages ago that you might have seen.
Yeah, maybe.
It's about,
Is it about the Central Intelligence Service?
Not really.
Oh.
It starts off with them in high school, and The Rock is this big, overweight character. And he's singing in the shower, and then the nasty school bullies play a little prank on him, and they throw him into the gymnasium in front of everyone, naked. Skip forward 20 years, and The Rock looks like The Rock does now.
Yep.
And it's the night of the high school reunion, and The Rock is now working for the Secret Services, and he gets Kevin Hart, who was like the like really popular kid back at school, but was kind of the only kid that was nice to The Rock's character. He gets him embroiled in a bit of an adventure, shall we say. I don't want to say anything more than that, because I don't want to spoil it, do I?
Nope.
Because this is, you know, in the name of this segment, it is spoiler-free review.
Exactly.
So that's not 3 spoilers. That's no spoilers. Just in
that
case
was a bad pun, and you
people
should be
didn't know.
ashamed.
Well, it's staying in. 3 out of 5, Jack.
So, worth seeing?
I actually laughed several times. I would say it's worth seeing. Maybe not, you know, maybe not worth paying full price to see at the cinema.
Yeah. Like, if someone gets it on DVD...
Definitely.
And they're like, we should watch this.
Definitely.
Say yes to them.
Yeah. You know, it's like an hour 40 probably. You're not going to regret it. It's got enough laughs, and like I've never really seen a Kevin Hart film before, and I wasn't too sure if I would find his kind of comedy shtick, like if it would work for me. But it seems kind of toned down to what I've heard that he kind of does usually.
I don't mind Kevin Hart film.
What have you seen that he's in?
I can't remember. I know I've seen them.
Okay. So yeah.
My issue is I don't fucking remember anything, Liam.
I mean, the other thing is I love The Rock. So if The Rock's in it, I'm going to see it. And I really like seeing The Rock flexing his comedy chops as well. So yeah.
No, I like The Rock when he does comedy stuff.
Yeah, it was delightful. I like him doing action stuff. I'm going to be honest, I am all about Baywatch because it has like 2 of my favourite men ever in it.
Yeah,
so...
see, I was so uninterested in the Baywatch film, and then they released a poster.
Yeah.
And it looks like, and I might be wrong.
Yeah.
It looks like it's going to be a kind of comedy.
I've got no fucking idea what it's going to be.
The poster was a little bit like over the top and like.
Yeah, it was the Independence Day poster, right?
Yeah. That was the one. Yeah, and I was like, oh, is this going to be? Because if it's a comedy, I'm well up for it.
Honestly, I'm there opening night regardless.
Baywatch, that's never piqued my interest.
I mean, I guess you're too young to really remember it being on like Saturday night TV, and
it's annoying because I want to be like I'm only 4 years younger than you, but I never saw it on Saturday night TV.
You know, with Gladiators. Oh,
I saw Gladiators. I used to watch Gladiators religiously.
That was a good show. The Wolf. That's what it was all about.
Fucking Wolf was the best.
Yeah, but yeah, Baywatch. I'm there opening night. All I need to do is be like, we've cast Ryan Gosling as the villain, and I'm like, that's my 3 favourite men in the world. Take me and my money.
Take me. Oh, Jesus. I have a philosophical question for you, Liam.
Oh, okay, I'm all ears.
Shag, marry, kill.
Yep.
Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
Yep.
Zac Efron.
Yep.
Ryan Gosling.
Marrying Zac Efron, obviously.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Because the way I always look at that question is, who would you never want to have sex with? Who are you okay with only having sex with once? And then who do you want to spend the rest of your life having sex with?
Yeah, fair enough. Yours is a very sex-centric question.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, marrying Zac Efron.
Yep.
Being pounded by him rest of my life.
Yep. I really regret asking you this. Carry on.
I will shag The Rock, because I think once would be enough. Like, I'd be destroyed.
What if he... this is getting in a weird place. What if he ruined you for Zac Efron?
I mean, that is the risk we'd have to take. And then I'm afraid I'd have to kill Ryan Gosling. The thing is with Ryan Gosling, he's a beautiful man, but like I don't get those tingles when I look at him in the way I do with like Zac Efron and The Rock. Like, so, right, could you just do a little thought experiment for me?
Go on.
Close your eyes.
Yeah, I am.
Now picture being kind of cuddled by The Rock and how sort of comforting that must feel.
Yeah, like 100%. Yeah.
Yeah. Now Zac Efron, not as comforting.
Not very comforting.
Have you seen him lately? Well, yeah, you saw the poster. He's getting big.
Yeah, but The Rock, I feel like
The Rock is 100% the best cuddler.
Yeah, like he's got to be.
Yeah, but I feel like Ryan Gosling just doesn't compare to the two of them in that way.
I think cuddles, I'd put Ryan Gosling above Zac Efron.
No, because Zac Efron could sing to me.
That's not a cuddle.
While he's cuddling me. Could sing me to sleep in his arms.
Oh my god, I regret closing my eyes.
Listeners, the reason why we're here is because Jack asked me this question.
Yeah, this is the thing, listeners. Liam is the mental one who isn't really a human, But I'm the one that gets him to say this stuff.
Yeah. So, is it the blind or the person, lead in the blind, who is also blind?
Good quote there, Liam.
I got there in the end.
Is it the blind or is it the blind person leading the blind?
Jack.
Yes.
Same question to you.
Marry Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
Yeah. It's a hard one, isn't it?
It is. Yeah, I think I'd agree with you and have to kill Ryan Gosling and shag Zac Efron.
Yeah, I don't blame you. So yeah, basically to summarise,
I think The Rock's a better life partner, Liam.
Well, I get why you're saying that. The thing is, Zac Efron's my age.
In Dwayne The Rock Johnson's social media, he seems like he's a laugh a minute. He's going to have downtimes, Liam, and I'm going to be there for him.
But here's the thing with The Rock. He gets up at like 4 a.m. to go to the gym.
Yeah, I'm assuming he'll be nice. He seems really nice, and I imagine he won't wake me up when he does it.
Oh yeah, no, he'll probably be really stealthy about it. But to do that, he's probably in bed by like 7, 8.
Oh man, that's right. Me and Dwayne The Rock Johnson are going to be in like totally different schedules.
Exactly. So it's not like you could have a little movie night with him. Now, like I know Zac Efron is also into his gym, but as far as I'm aware, he's not getting up at 4 to go and bust out some iron gym things.
Good job, Liam.
Thanks.
You're really nailing it today.
I know. I've got all the words, but they're just not coming out.
I know.
But yeah.
So the movie was good.
Basically, Central Intelligence was a good enough movie that it's worth seeing. Like I said, don't pay full price cinema ticket for it if you're not kind of... If you watch the trailer and you're like, oh, I'm indifferent to it, still give it a go, but maybe don't pay full price.
Fair.
Have I been up to anything else?
It's a good question that only you can answer.
The answer's nah.
Fair enough.
I've been... Well. Ooh, dear. Hoochie mama. I have been continuing with Banshee.
Oh yeah? What series are you on now?
2 episodes left of season 3.
How is it?
Fantastic.
Yeah, that's what my dad said as well.
Yeah, I mean, for you, I'm still saying finish The Walking Dead first, but then Banshee.
I was having this thought earlier today. I was like, what should I do next?
Yeah, and
the answer was Banshee. Or maybe, no, it was I need to finish The Flash and Arrow first.
Oh, fuck The Flash and Arrow.
No, there's someone at work that also watches them, and someone else I know watches them, and since my laptop crashed, I've got to, like, redo it.
Yeah, but The Walking Dead...
Yeah, but you can wait, because you're a good friend.
I can't, is the thing. I mean, you're going to have to get caught up by the time Season 8 finishes, because I 100% want to do a Nerd on Nerd special about Season 8, since you refused to let me do one on... Oh, wait, what's the next season? 7 or 8?
I don't know.
Fuck knows. Whatever the next season is, because you wouldn't let me do one for the last one, because you weren't caught up.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Yeah, no, it is. So catch up.
Maybe.
Because we've got a special guest who would be dying to come on for that as well.
Is that Catherine?
It is. Also, Mark would probably be up for it. Mark listened to our Game of Thrones episode, and he said if we do another one in the future, he would like to be on it, because he said that we were getting lots of things wrong, and he'd like to come on it to correct us.
That's fair. What I've noticed, Liam, is that me and you do get things wrong quite a lot.
Yeah, but people aren't tuning into this to listen to like a well-polished, super slick production.
True. If anyone is coming to Nerd on Nerd and being like, you know what, I want an educated, well-informed opinion, they've come to the wrong place.
Well, no. If they're doing that, just listen to me and tune out Jack.
Unless you're talking about your opinion on video games, in which case, just listen to me and ignore everything Liam says.
That's debatable.
Nah, it's not.
Well, we're debating it right now, so clearly it is.
Shit. God, you can't think of words today, but you're trapping me in these word puzzles and I don't like it.
No, I'm like the Spider-Man of words. And...
Jesus Christ. Let's move on.
Culture swap?
Swap my culture.
What are we doing next time, Jack?
Next week, listeners. Not next week, next episode.
There's a fantastic segue you can do here.
I don't know what it is.
Who is in the thing that we're doing next that we just spent too much time discussing?
Got you.
Cool.
Next time, listeners, we are doing, and it's very poignant because we were just talking about Dwayne The Rock Johnson, and it's his favourite movie. That's not true. That's libel.
It might be. We don't know.
It was parody. And I will not be sued.
We do find out in Central Intelligence. We find out what The Rock's, at least his character in that movie, what his favourite film is.
Star Wars.
I can't tell you. It'd be a spoiler.
Okay. But next time, listeners, we're doing Much to My Chagrin. Hopefully I'm using that word right.
Yeah, you are.
much to Liam's pleasure,
Joy.
just complete. I'm sure you can hear it in his voice, listener.
A bit first.
We are doing High School Musical.
Woo woo! That is going to be fantastic. So I highly encourage all of you listening, get it watched, write in your thoughts, let us know, let's have a discussion. It's High School Musical, guys.
Now the thing, listeners,
it's going to be brilliant.
The thing with writing in to this for this episode is that we're going to be recording this episode early. So if you do write in,
we can read it on the next one. We'll read it on the next one.
We'll have to read it on the episode after that.
But that's fine. Do you know what? I don't even care because I'm going to be posting on Twitter as soon as we finish recording.
Right,
next time, High School Musical. So
yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's why it's good to follow us on Twitter if you're not doing that already, at @NerdOnNerd.
It's a shame that they're going to be getting this too late to go on Twitter to find the High School Musical tweet you're going to do.
That is true.
But yeah, so that's what we'll be doing, listeners.
So
every minute.
No, stop.
Because
I'm Jack.
I'm aware that I'm probably going to like it.
Look, just don't go in with any preconceptions.
Is that High School Musical?
No, it's not.
Is that Glee?
I have no idea what that is.
What is that from? Oh man, it's going to be something bad that I shouldn't know.
Probably like the Sweet Life of Zac and Cody or something?
That was a Disney Channel TV series, yes.
Jesus. Oh no, the best of both worlds. Surely that's got to be something.
Oh, it's Hannah Montana.
Yeah, I was going to say it's got to be the Miley Cyrus one.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. So I've just before we get onto the culture swap that we're doing this week, I need to ask a couple of questions about what we're doing next time, which is High School Musical. What do you currently know about the film?
I know it's set in high school.
Okay.
It's a musical.
Yeah. The clue for those two are in the title.
Yep.
Zac Efron's in it.
Yep.
Do you know anything else?
That girl's in it.
Vanessa Hudgens.
Yep.
Ashley Tisdale.
No, I think Vanessa Hudgens was what I was thinking of.
Cool. So, right, do you mind sharing with our listeners how old you are at this point in your life?
24.
Okay. And I guess High School Musical came out, say 10 or so years ago now?
September 22nd, 2006.
So, 10 years ago-ish. Just under. Yeah?
Yep.
Is there any reason why you've gone just under 10 years without watching this fine movie?
Yes.
Which is?
Because I was 14 when it came out.
That's not going to what age we all were when it came out.
Yeah, exactly, because you were 18.
Doesn't mean I watched it when it came out, does it?
I don't think that makes it as good as... I think that makes it worse, Liam. Right, okay, so here's the legit answer to why I've not watched High School Musical.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
And it's the same with a lot of stuff.
Okay.
Is I have a younger brother and sister.
You do?
Right?
Yes.
The age gap between me and my younger brother and sister is larger than, most people.
Okay.
I'm 6 years older than my brother and 8 years older than my sister.
So she particularly would have been perfect age for it, right?
Yeah, and
Yep.
she was.
Yep.
And she watched it,
Yep.
and she liked it.
Okay.
And I, being a 14-year-old,
Yes.
was like, there's no fucking way that I'm going to sit with my little sister and watch High School Musical.
Yeah, spending time with my siblings. Imagine
14,
doing that.
At 14, yeah, 100%. As someone that doesn't have siblings, you don't get to say that.
I had a dog that I watched movies with.
Well, that's just depressing.
He was my best friend.
Now, me and my brother and sister, I like both of them. They're great people. I love hanging out with them.
Yeah.
But back then, no.
So here's the thing. How good would it be if you watched this movie, liked it, and then the next time you speak to your sister, you can kind of connect on a whole new level?
Now, I know my sister. And I don't think I think she's probably grown out of High School Musical by now.
Impossible. Like, you can...
No.
No. All right. I think you're wrong, but not 100% wrong. So I think, if I'm doing the math right in my head, and what I think her age currently is, I think, as you're growing up, we all go through this period, right, where we try to, grow up and grow out of the stuff we was into, and we try and shun it, and then eventually it comes back around. I'd say you get to, your early 20s, your mid-20s, and you start getting nostalgic for those things from your childhood, and you start... Did you ever just not grow out of it, though?
Yeah, I don't think I've ever grown out of anything.
Yeah. I think, for me, for example, with music, I went through a phase where I was like, oh, pop music, it's awful, get it away from me, icky. But then, what was my favourite club at uni, Jack?
Babylon.
Which is the one that was playing all the pop music that when I was a teenager, I was trying to run away from.
Yeah, that's fair.
So I do think it is genuinely a thing that people go through. So
just from knowing my sister...
Yeah.
Like, you know, I don't want to take this away from you, but I do know her better than you.
I mean, I don't know her at all.
Exactly.
You've literally never let me meet your family for some reason.
You live in Portsmouth. You can meet my family if you goddamn want.
Bring them down. They can come to the barbecue.
Exactly,
it's fine.
that's the issue. I'm not fucking bringing them to Portsmouth. You'd have to travel up here, which you don't do.
No, that's true.
But, yeah, I don't know. My sister's she's not a fan of movies, usually.
Okay.
Although recently she's been getting into horror films, so...
That's good. That's a good start.
But yeah, I don't know. I feel like if she was like, I don't like High School Musical, I wouldn't be like, you're just going through a phase.
No, you don't say that to her. You wait.
I'm going to.
You wait until she's like early 20s and then be like, so, still don't like High School Musical? And she'll be like, oh, you got me. It's brilliant. Because it is.
Sure.
Anyway, so if we were to watch it together, which I definitely think we should do, and potentially film, just trying to think if we could get away with that. I'd like to film your reaction to it.
We wouldn't be able to get away with it. There's too much difficult stuff there.
Yeah, I'm more thinking you'd have the copyright issue if you had the film playing in the background, wouldn't you?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, alright, we won't film it, but I want to watch it with you because I want to see your live reaction to it.
That's fine. Get it sorted for you've got the DVD?
Yeah, I've got it. Of course I have. So
if I come down to you tomorrow, Liam.
Yes.
I'll watch it with you tomorrow.
Fantastic. I've got this special locker edition, so I can kind of lock all my secrets away with the movie.
That's depressing.
It actually has a little key and lock, and so at the time, High School Musical 3 hadn't come out when I got this, but it has High School Musical 1 and 2 and the live show in it. And the good thing is there was space for me to put High School Musical 3 inside as well, so I did.
I'm suddenly realising I'm not 100% sure that my sister ever liked High School Musical.
Maybe not as much as I do.
I think she had a pillow with it on it. And I sort of vaguely remember being like, why do you have that pillow? And
yeah.
She was like, I don't know, someone bought it for me. I don't like the films. So...
that's awkward.
Yeah.
I don't think you'll be bonding with her over this then.
I'm hoping that I won't like it. There's a part of me that just
but this
really hopes that I come out of it and I'm like, I don't get it. Like, I don't mind if I'm like, oh, it's alright.
Yeah.
I can accept that. I just don't want to come out of it and be like, I love High School Musical.
Here's what worries me, and this is why I wanted to ask these questions now, is I don't want you or our listeners
I'm not going to jade myself before it, Liam. I'm going to go in with an open mind.
Okay, but also for our listeners, like, if you haven't seen this movie, I completely understand that you will have preconceptions about it. But try and just shake those off and just try and enjoy yourself. Sound fair?
Yeah.
Cool. That's...
Am I allowed to be drunk while we watch it?
Of course.
That'll make me like it more, I think.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean... So, the only potential downside to watching it together is it's going to be real fucking hard for me to not sing.
You're not allowed to sing along. I'm not watching it with you if you sing along. The moment you start singing along, I'm leaving the room.
What if I dance?
Because you'll ruin it. I've heard your singing, friend.
Oh, it's not good.
No, exactly. You can dance. I don't want you to dance in my eye line.
I watched Grease with a friend, and I sang along for the entirety of it, and they hate that movie now. It was the first time they'd ever seen it.
Yeah, that's
I ruined Grease for them. And I'm not being funny. Grease is a 5-star film. The fact that I could ruin that,
it's good.
It's in my top 5 of all time.
See, this is one of the reasons that I don't think I will like High School Musical, even if I don't go in jaded.
I'm going to be honest with you,
like,
Jack.
I love Grease.
I'm going to be honest with you up front. High School Musical is not a 5-star film.
See, that doesn't bode well.
I'm just saying, it's not. I'm not going to say what it is, because we'll get there next week, but it's not a 5-star film.
Isn't it?
Huh?
It's just going to be a 4 or a 4.5.
We'll have to wait and see, won't we?
No, if we know.
We'll have to wait and see.
Okay.
But yeah, I won't sing.
Good.
I might bop along.
That's fine. You can bop, so long as it's not distracting.
Can I bop to the top?
Is that a reference?
Us High School Musical fans, we know. And Jack, soon, you'll know too.
We'll see.
Yeah. The other good thing, if you come tomorrow and watch it, is that's going to force Kat to watch it too. And she's been adamantly refusing to. And 2 against 1, she won't be able to refuse, or she'll go to bed. Snowpiercer. So, this was your recommendation this week.
I don't think it matters who recommends these things.
I want the listeners to know.
Yeah, because you're arrogant.
If they liked something and I recommended it, I want them to know that they liked it because of me. Now,
Right, okay.
if they didn't like it...
That's when, if you do a bad suggestion, that's when you're like, yeah, so we suggested.
Yeah. But that's yet to happen. Although, there was one thing that you didn't like that I suggested.
I don't remember, yeah, sure.
It was Christmas Evil.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That
Wasn't festive enough for you.
No. Anyway, don't get distracted.
Sorry, it's too late.
Snowpiercer.
Snowpiercer.
Thoughts?
So, just to warn listeners, obviously we're going to get into spoilers here.
Yep.
So, if you haven't seen the film and you want to, might be a good time to stop listening for a bit.
Yep.
But don't forget, you can tweet us at nerdonnerd or email us nerdonnerdpod@gmail.com with all your thoughts and stuff. So now that's out of the way. We got rid of those that aren't dedicated enough to actually do what we ask them to.
Jesus Christ. Right.
Snowpiercer. Immediate thoughts. So I went through a journey with this film, much like the film itself goes on a journey.
Oh, brilliantly.
Thank you. I started off not really liking it, and then I carried on not really liking it, and then I got to a point where I was like, actually, it's not too bad. That was interesting. I'm pleased they did that. My exact thought was, thank fuck they did that. And then we carried on thinking, yeah, it's okay. And then we got to another point, and we thought, actually, I liked that. That wasn't too bad what they did there.
Can I take a stab at where some of those points were?
Go for it.
I'm assuming
Yep.
that the Gilliam scene, the where you find out the truth about Gilliam, is one of those points. I'm hoping it's not the first one where you went, thank fuck they did that.
No.
Because that is quite far in the film.
That was really neither of those points.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Because I liked that.
I liked it, but I was already kind of on board with the movie by the time we got to that point.
Is it the okay. I'm going to take another stab.
Okay.
Is it the scene where they have the big fight with the guys wearing balaclavas?
Nope.
I love that scene. Not particularly because it fits the story, or like not a story-wise thing. I think that scene is badass.
In what way?
I just love the fight scene. I think it's a really good fight scene.
So that scene, I was still not really on board, if you will.
Okay,
because it's a train.
Very good. What was the first turning point for you?
When, and again, spoilers. When
we've done that, don't worry about it.
When no, this is a big spoiler though. When
don't worry about it.
All right, when Mason gets shot.
Which one's Mason?
Tilda Swinton.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah.
Now, Tilda Swinton is one of the few actresses who I don't really like. Like, it's not that I don't like her as a person. I just haven't really liked her in any of the films she's ever been in.
Okay.
So her being in the film, I don't know why. You know how like some people just kind of rile you up the wrong way?
Yeah.
Like, she's like one of those for me. I can't, like, there's no logical, like, here's a good reason why. I just don't gel with her.
But surely, is that not a good thing for what she does in this film?
No, I get that. I get that.
Meant to.
Yeah. But when she got shot was when I had that, well, thank fuck for that moment.
Okay.
Because also, like, so Chris Evans, who's the main character, plays a guy called Curtis. He's the one that shoots her. And I also think that him doing that is a kind of turning point for his character, because if you were going down the typical hero sort of route,
yeah, he'd have dragged her along the whole film.
Yeah, exactly. Or he wouldn't have been the one to pull the trigger himself, but she might have still got shot. So that was the first turning point for me. So everything up until that point, I was a bit indifferent to. Like, I veered from like not really liking it to just not really caring about it, and then I was like, oh, that's not too bad. It's interesting. So from that point on, they're moving through the train. Then the next turning point was actually, I like this now, was when he was sat outside the gate with the Korean guy. I can't remember his name. You're going to have to help me out with that one.
The character name?
Yeah.
It's Namgoong Minsu?
Okay.
I'm not sure how to pronounce that properly.
Alright, so they're having a discussion, and you're finding out about his backstory.
Yeah.
And that's when I was like, oh, okay, that's cool. I like what they're doing now.
Yeah, because the whole, the whole thing, you're sort of thinking he's the good guy hero, right?
Yes, exactly.
Then, so the bits you like are the bits where you sort of realise he's not necessarily.
Yeah, as I'm sure I've said before on this podcast, my favourite thing for a film to do is surprise me.
Yeah.
And those were the two moments where I guess I was most surprised.
Yeah. See, one of the things that I liked about this film as well is the way it like, there's stuff that it sets up early in the film.
Yeah.
Which I can see why you, at the start, weren't as interested.
Yeah.
Because I'm trying to remember the first time I watched it, and I sort of vaguely remember it being like that, sort of watching it and being like, I
think,
like, okay,
the thing is,
it's a train, I get it.
Yeah, it's not that it necessarily starts off slowly or anything, and I think that's almost...
I mean, to be fair, there is a fair amount of setup.
No, I would almost disagree. I would say there's not enough, because... Really? Yeah, to me, it felt like within the first, say, 10 minutes, they're revolting, pretty much.
I don't think that's in the first 10 minutes, is it?
It felt a lot quicker.
Because No. Because the first 10 minutes, you get one guy rebelling, and you see the.
Oh, he gets his arm frozen off. Yeah.
And then you get like another 10 minutes where Curtis is
right. So
telling people to be patient, and he's like, "We're going to do it soon, but you've got to wait."
Yeah. So okay, let me explain what I mean then.
Go on.
The problem is, so like you said, you have the guy who gets his arm frozen off. I hadn't invested in any of the characters to care when that was happening. So that's where I was like, oh, this is just, come on, get to the point. And then, again, you've got him setting up what he's doing, and you're like, right, again, I'm still not invested, so I don't really care. Can you just hurry up and either do it, or give me, like, some characterization for why I should care? Because it feels like, at the beginning of the film, the most amount of characterization you get is, oh, they like kids, so they've got to be the good guys, because they're nice to these kids.
No, I think at the way you, like, at the start side with them, is the fact that it's not also the fact they're being oppressed. Kids. It's the fact that the higher ups, the like higher class people, come and basically freeze off a dude's arm because he threw a shoe, and then she says to them, "You've got to know your place. You guys are the shoe. Be shoes."
Yeah, and she makes.
I think that's the bit, Liam. I think most people were like, these guys are the good guys. They like kids.
She makes a very valid point when she puts a shoe on her head and says, "Look, the shoes belong on heads." No, they don't.
Yeah, I love the weird stuff like that in this film.
Oh yeah, there is definitely a few things that are odd in this film.
But it's great. I honestly, it really, like, the fact that everyone above, like, anyone, because basically the train is set up to be, if you had a, like, lower
it's
class
the class
ticket,
structure, basically. You've got the lower class at the tail end, then you get to the middle class, and it's like kids being taught sort of, well, I guess not really taught, but like propaganded.
Indoctrinated.
Yeah, that's the one. And then you've got the upper class more towards the front of the train.
Yeah.
Which, don't get me wrong, that is an interesting idea, an interesting setup. Yeah, like I said, I really struggled with the beginning, like the opening act, to kind of find any of the characters.
I can see why, but seeing it this second time, right? Honestly, I love that beginning bit now.
Okay.
But I don't know if it's because I think there's not a lot of stuff. Like, I'm not going to try and make the film seem cleverer than it is.
No.
But I think there is a fair amount that when you go back and watch it, you're like, oh, because I know this is because I know that this is what this is.
Yeah.
Like, it's kind of more interesting, or not more interesting, but you're like, oh, I get it.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. I do imagine, like with Preacher, if you go back and read the earlier stuff, there's little kind of tidbits for you.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess, like a basic, real quick plot synopsis for people, just in case they saw it a while ago and need to just have their memories refreshed. It's basically Chris Evans leads the lower class people into a revolt, and they're all stuck on this train. The world has kind of frozen because of global warming. No.
Oh, Liam.
Well,
the world is frozen because humanity went to war.
Was that why?
And they released a toxic gas into the air.
I thought there was a... Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah. Got ya.
They released, like, something C67 or something.
Yeah, something weird like that.
Yeah, and it blocks out the sun effectively and starts an ice age.
Okay, so the world has frozen. So they're all stuck on this self-supporting, self-sufficient, self-running train. And they've never gone kind of beyond the carriage that they're confined to, really. Yeah, well, yeah, the tail end people don't get to leave the tail end of the train. Exactly. Which is probably, there's probably a fair few carriages in that tail section. But not very many. Probably not many, yeah. Not enough. No, because that's one of the issues, is he says there's no space. Yeah. I quite liked the bit where they were going through the train and you were seeing all different carriages, like there's a fucking aquarium in one bit. Yeah. That's one of the interesting things, is seeing... all these different things that they have in this train. The train is giant. Yeah, and I almost wanted more kind of carriages that were just weird and wonderful like that. Because it does feel a few of them are just sort of thrown in, and you're like, nothing really happens in them. Or there's like a few that are like, it's a nightclub in a train. Blah. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, one of the things that I really didn't like was the bit where he slipped on a fish. Yeah. That, to me, and that kind of is... I don't know if it's kind of part of that fight scene that you're talking about, that you said you really liked. I'm trying to remember. I can't specifically remember him slipping on a fish, but I would assume so, because that scene starts with them... that fish that they got, he slips on. Yeah. It's fucking ridiculous. Why is that ridiculous, though? It just felt really, like, slapsticky and out of place. I don't think it was an attempt at humour, though. No, it just seems like he could have easily just slipped on some blood or something. Like, it didn't have to be a fish, or like a dead body. Okay. Just weird. Also, there's a couple of bits of dialogue that was just really clunky in the way it tried to do its exposition.
Go on.
Right, the most obvious example that really stuck out when I was watching it is a guy starts smoking a cigarette, and one of the characters goes, oh, "That's a cigarette. They've been extinct for 10 years." And it's like, right, we could have got that just from everyone's reaction when he pulled out the cigarette. We didn't need that bit of dialogue. It just felt really like... I don't know, like I would say most of the movie is quite smartly scripted, but there's a couple of bits here and there where it was almost like, oh, hang on, we need to throw this line in just for the real dumb idiots to make sure they're up to speed.
I don't know, man. I feel like you're nitpicking with that.
Yeah, no, 100%. 100%. But also, this was in the part of the film that I just wasn't really vibing on anyway. So
yeah. Because for me, that scene was not nothing, but like that line of dialogue didn't jar with me. But I guess if you're already in the mindset where you're like, I'm not particularly into this yet.
Yeah.
And I see that stuff like that would stand out more.
I have to admit, just getting to watch this movie was a bloody mission for me. Absolutely. So, for those that don't know, in the UK, this film hasn't had like a DVD or Blu-ray release, which I wasn't aware of. So, I went to eBay, as you do, and I found what looked like a nice steelbook of the film. And, you know, I'll be honest, I like my steelbooks. So, I ordered it. And we're actually recording this podcast a couple of days late, because we were going to record it on Monday, and I was going to watch the film before we recorded, and I put it in. The film opens with like sort of credits, and I was like, oh, okay, so the credits are in Spanish. I can live with that. But then the film opens with a title card, which was all in Spanish. So I was like, cool, now I don't know the setup of the film. So I stopped, I looked online, and I saw on Amazon someone saying, don't buy this, it has subtitles, but they're only in Spanish, and you can't switch it to English. Like, the audio's in English, but none of the subtitles are. And helpfully...
Why had you not read this before, though?
Because I ordered it on eBay, not Amazon.
Right.
Okay?
Are you...
So...
I find it hard to believe that either the person didn't say that anywhere in the post.
They honestly didn't. They didn't.
Right. Well, then, I don't believe that their reviews can have been that high for their account.
I need to check.
If they do dodgy shit like that, I'd imagine that people aren't 5-starring them.
Don't get me wrong, I'm not blaming the eBay person. 100%. I'm have checked. You. Yeah, I should have checked. Cool. But I didn't know that it was so hard to find in UK. What I ended up having to do was import an Australian version of the Blu-ray to get the UK subtitles. Now, we were having a discussion about this, and you were saying that the subtitles didn't really matter. I would say...
No. I didn't say they didn't matter. I said there's only 2 or 3 scenes that actually require the subtitles.
Yeah, but here's the thing. One of my favourite scenes where my opinion turned around was a scene that required subtitles.
Yeah, I didn't say they don't matter. I said that those scenes, there's only a few of.
Yeah, but I'm just also...
Because when you were saying it, when you said, oh, you know, this review guy is saying don't get it because the subtitles are wrong.
Yeah.
I was like, well, you can find them online. And you were like, you could have easily watched the one you had. It would have been more difficult, and I wouldn't have suggested it.
Yeah.
But you could have watched that one you had and just gone online
and looked at the subtitles.
Yeah, because I literally had, while you were saying it, I was googling it to like try and help you.
Yeah, no, I know.
I found there's like I didn't suggest it because I know you wouldn't have wanted to do it, and I wouldn't have wanted you to do it either. But I'm just saying.
Like, don't get me wrong.
There were a lot of sites where people were like, "These are the scenes."
Yeah, don't get me wrong. I'm pleased I, found the Australian edition and got to watch it right. Like, I think it would have detracted from my enjoyment if I'd have been faffing around with subtitles and stuff. Yeah. My point more is, why the hell has it not had a UK release? Because it's not like a terrible movie or anything.
No, I don't understand that either. It's weird.
Yeah, like I think the issue is I didn't really know that it hadn't got a UK release, so I also, like, in my defence, I wasn't looking to... I didn't even know there were subtitles.
Yeah, no, that's fair. Yeah.
So I wasn't checking the eBay posting to see if it said anything about subtitles or anything, because I thought it was an English film. But it's not.
That's fair. I get what you're saying. Yeah, that's fair.
But it's a Korean director, I believe.
Yes, a South Korean director.
Yeah.
Director, right?
Yeah,
but he made an English language film.
Yes, which is I looked up afterwards and I realised I had seen one of his previous films, which was South Korean, called The Host, which isn't bad. It's kind of like a monster movie, so you know what to expect. But yeah, this is better than The Host, I would say. Interesting casting choices in some places, I thought. and then other places quite predictable.
Yeah.
So, like, Ed Harris as the guy that is kind of, like, running the whole show, if you will.
Wilford.
Yeah. To me, that just felt a bit like he was kind of, we've seen him in that sort of role before.
Yeah.
With The Truman Show.
Yeah.
Where he's kind of, like, behind the scenes, but, manipulating everything.
That's not I don't know. This is another one of those things with you that I don't understand.
It just felt a bit like...
Like, I get that you like movies surprising you, Liam, but
yeah.
the universe can't just make films where they don't do normal things because they're worried that they're going to not attract you. You get what I mean?
I know.
I don't think you can judge them based on it
and
either.
that's the other thing. This is why it's so weird, if you will. I like movies, because movies make their bread and butter by repeating what works. Yeah. So I think that's why, for me particularly, because I do watch maybe more movies than the average person, I have got to that point now where I crave that
but that's fine.
Surprise.
You can crave that stuff. But
yeah.
I crave cool science fiction things, and I really like really well done like fight scenes.
Yeah, but
if they do a regular fight scene, I don't go, man, I can't believe that wasn't a crazy fight scene. Do you know what I mean? Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, but okay, so let's say you're watching a movie that has cool crazy fight scenes in it, and then they just do a normal fight scene. You'd be like, well, why wasn't there another crazy fight scene there?
Chris Evans as the main character isn't a particularly surprising choice.
Yeah, but like...
So I don't get what you're saying.
No, he is a surprising choice.
The whole fight scene was... if all of the film was crazy fight scenes, but Chris Evans isn't...
Chris Evans 100% is a surprising choice. So I was reading about this film afterwards, right? Yeah. And Chris Evans approached the director to be in it, and the director at first didn't want him in it because of Chris Evans' physique, because he's quite buff. This would have been after the first Captain America came out, so he already had a Captain America body, right?
Yeah.
They were saying it wouldn't make sense for his physique to have been basically starving in the tail end, which is why they've dressed him with lots of heavy clothing and deliberately framed him in ways that you don't see his muscles at all. So I would say Chris Evans is a surprising choice.
Right, you're saying that now after you've watched the film and had the director explain to you why he wouldn't have picked Chris Evans.
Also, I found out
when you first see Chris Evans as the main character, you weren't sitting there going, "Holy shit, this is insane! I can't believe it."
Well, that's because one of the few things I knew about this film.
Tilda Swinton's in it as a crazy lady. What is this film?
Also, Jamie Bell, his character called Edgar. Did you know that's a homage to Edgar Wright?
Oh, is it?
Yep.
That's cool.
Yep. I also
like trying to distract everyone from the fact that you made a weird point that was insane.
No, people are free to decide if my point was fine and yours was nonsensical.
Let me just, before we do that, because sometimes I feel like stuff that we say can get, miscommunicated.
Yep.
I just want to clarify to the listeners that your point was that one of the issues you had was that some of the characters were surprisingly cast.
Yeah.
But others weren't.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. That's fair enough. And that's
it's just,
the point worth
here's the thing, right? With a character like Wilford, I always find this in films like this. When I'm watching it, I always start thinking, because he doesn't really get revealed until the last act of the film.
Yeah.
And you spend the film and you're like, right, I wonder, I don't know if it's just me, it might just be me, but I'm like, I wonder who they've cast in this role.
Oh,
and
yeah, well, it might not just be you, but I definitely don't think like that.
Yeah, and you start thinking, what would be an interesting casting choice,
Right, okay. It's the fact that you're a movie student.
Yeah, when you see Ed Harris, you're like, well, that wasn't interesting. It could have been more interesting.
Liam, it could have been fucking anyone. It could have been Danny DeVito, and it would have been surprising. But I'm glad they fucking didn't.
That would have been so good,
Do you see the issue with your logic now?
That would have been so good.
That would have been shocking, but it wouldn't have been good. You'd have been like, what the fuck is this?
Did you know?
Danny DeVito, Wilford.
Did you know that Tilda Swinton's character was initially written with John C. Reilly in mind?
I can see that. He's done roles like that before.
Yeah. And apparently, according to the trivia on IMDb, the director intentionally left lines of Mason being referred to in the masculine form, because obviously he wrote it like that.
Yeah, but
that sort of stuff I thought was interesting
for future films. I mean, people are called the one that springs to mind is they call her Sir a lot.
So when has
but in the military and stuff, they do call higher ups Sir, even if they're female.
When has John C. Reilly, who we might know for his lovable portrayal of Ralph in Wreck-It Ralph, or The other film that springs to mind for me is Step Brothers.
Yep.
Or Magnolia. When has he ever played a role like Mason? Because you said he's done it before.
Yeah.
In what?
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Who's he in that?
Isn't he the one of the prison guards?
Is he?
I think so.
You might be right. I don't remember him. Is it like a small role?
Yeah, he's not in it for very long.
Right, okay.
But that was after anyway. But I get what you're saying. I was just saying it to be pretentious, Liam.
Oh, well, fair enough then.
But it's alright because you've already made an insane point, so I think
Oh,
we'll
yeah.
get away with it.
No, yeah, probably be fine.
So can we stop fixating on your weird need for actors to be cast as like surprises?
Yeah,
and actually
totally.
Talk about the fucking film.
Yeah. Go on then.
Right.
Because you got a really good point to follow this up with.
I'm not used to you saying yes to me.
Well, you know.
Like this film, right?
Yes.
There's things about it because I've done a lot of like defending the film and being like, even though you liked the film in the end,
Yeah.
I've done a lot of like, oh, you're wrong, Liam.
It probably took me a good half of the film before I started even remotely liking it.
Because one of my issues with this film, right,
Yeah.
is the end.
That's interesting.
Because the whole time
Yeah.
you're like, oh, he's fighting for like freedom and shit. I mean, it's not an issue because I like it.
Yeah.
I like it, but it's a like they fucked up. I don't know how to describe what I'm thinking here.
I will say, like, while I did like the final act, the end of the movie, like the last maybe 2 minutes, I could have done without.
Yeah. See, that's weird because basically the last 2 minutes are a girl called Yonya, who is the security dude's daughter.
Yep.
Who also we find out is clairvoyant for some reason, which that bit I find unnecessary.
Not true.
Was it not?
Nope. So apparently, what that was supposed to be trying to get at, but I agree it failed, is that train babies are supposed to have better hearing. So it's not that she's clairvoyant; she could just hear.
Why would train babies have better hearing?
I honestly don't know. It was just one of the.
That's the opposite,
things.
Surely, because they're on a train that makes noise.
Yeah. No, but well, maybe not like
That's
better,
what he said.
better hearing.
That sort of sounds to me like he's trying to get out of the fact that he added clairvoyance.
Oh yeah, definitely.
That's like what people say afterwards when people are like, "It's weird that you added clairvoyance." And they go, "Shit, he's right. It is weird that I added clairvoyance." Train babies can hear better.
So from the IMDb trivia, okay, according to the filmmakers, train babies like Yonya developed animalistic hearing skills.
That's such a non-explanation on their part.
And also, I feel like, sure, the filmmakers might turn around and say that, but there's not really evidence for that in the film.
No, yeah, there's no point in the film where you go, oh, Yonya can hear things, and there are definitely points in the film where you go, Yonya is clairvoyant. Yeah,
well, like Chris Evans' character actually says...
Literally goes, are you clairvoyant?
Yeah.
But yeah, so that I felt was unnecessary, the clairvoyance.
Yep.
But, so the end, where effectively Curtis ends up, well, not really Curtis, it's more Namgoong, who kills everyone.
Yeah.
Including nearly his daughter.
Yeah.
And which is weird. I didn't, like, because whilst I'm not into the whole, like, oh, who are they casting and stuff, I do, especially on a second watching of a film, I'm like, were they trying to say anything, but I sort of, like, I'm not sitting there the whole time being like, what's the message here?
Well, I think this one is pretty obvious with the message about the whole kind of class system and, you know...
Yeah, but
staying in your place.
Liam? Because when you actually think about it, right, the actual message is, like, the class system is wrong, right?
Yes, yeah.
Like, it shouldn't be like that.
And you shouldn't be forced to stay in your place.
But also, the message you could take from it as well, because this is the other thing, is I'm like, I get the message they're trying to say...
Yeah.
But when you take the film as a whole, like, what other message can you read into it?
Yeah.
And if you look at it as, at the end, Curtis and Namgoong kill everyone, the message is, whilst the class system is wrong, don't fucking rebel.
Yeah, because it's there for a reason.
Yeah, and then everyone dies. Like, it sort of turns out Wilford's right.
No, definitely.
Which is weird.
That's one of the things that I found interesting, because it 100% is, he is right. Like, even though... So what you find out at the end is Wilford has basically orchestrated it, so previous revolts that have happened, and even this one, he's well aware of them happening, and he's helping encourage them to an extent.
Yeah, he not in that, he effectively starts them.
Yeah, exactly.
Him and one of the tail enders.
Yeah.
The sort of leader of them.
Yeah.
They work together. They are friends.
Yeah, exactly. And it's all about how kind of it's a very fragile ecosystem almost. And so if some of the higher ups die, then some of the lowers have to die as well to balance it all out.
Not even just that. It's just the fact that there's too many to support.
Yeah, exactly.
Because he says, you've got to keep it in back. Like he says, you can't leave it to natural selection.
Yeah, because we'd get crowded and starved.
Yeah,
yeah,
but yeah, I guess it's also as well. It's the whole because it's difficult because it could easily be him the director being like, it's wrong to try and control these ecosystems, or it's wrong to treat everything like it's an engine, because that is what Wilford's like. To him, the train is everything, and everything should function like the train. It should be a machine, and it should work efficiently.
Yeah.
And you could see that the director could either be saying, that's wrong, look what happens, all these people suffer, but he could also be saying it's right because everything goes tits up anyway.
Well, right, so I think what the director is actually saying is, basically, this train is representing certain parts of the world. Where, so we're quite lucky in where we live, the lower class people aren't exactly suffering to the extent of those on the train were.
I think some of our lower class people would disagree with you there, Liam, but okay.
I mean, they're not forced into cannibalism.
No, but not many people in the world are.
No. But if you look at where the director comes from, okay,
South Korea,
yeah, which is still recovering from a pretty terrible civil war.
Yeah, South Korea's doing pretty okay for itself, mate.
Are you sure about that?
Yeah.
Considering they only got kind of freedom into Western entertainment, if you will, in I think the mid to late 90s.
Yep, and already they are a huge economy in the world, and a lot of our electronics manufacturing comes directly from South Korea. A lot of oil production comes from South Korea.
But you don't think there's still a disparity in the class system?
Oh, I can imagine it's
there?
A lot fresher in their mind, but I don't think they could. I don't think that he was saying we're the tail enders.
No, I don't think he's saying all of us. I think that's what he said. The whole thing is looking at how the way society works is it requires all of these different class systems to be in place. So obviously, yes, you've got the upper ones who are leading the train, but you still have the lower ones as well who have to kind of. I guess one of the messages of this film is they kind of should know their place.
See, but this is where I disagree with you.
Okay.
Because I enjoy reading those things into it.
Yeah.
But I also think the message is that isn't what it should be.
Yeah, but like you said, it could be either. Yeah,
but that's what I'm saying. So we can't say his message was this, because it could very easily be the exact opposite message.
Yeah, but I think so. What I thought you were saying was if you don't take the film as what is the message, but just look at it as what is it talking about? It is talking about
the class system, yeah.
Yeah, and that disparity between them as well.
Yeah.
But like you said,
the actual what is the answer to it is a lot less clear.
Yeah, and very deliberately so, I think.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
Because I think he's kind of presenting you saying, look, this is kind of a potential outcome if the lower class revolted. Everyone dies. We need some sort of hierarchy in place.
No, see, but then you're adding the extra bit that I don't agree with you on.
But that's what I'm saying. That's
because I don't think that end scene is him saying, if this happens, this happens.
Oh,
I think the whole film, basically, I think the message of the film is up until him sitting at the door.
Yeah.
I think Curtis sitting at the door is the end of the message of this movie.
Do you think?
Yeah, I think it's because that's when he gets the choice, right? Namgoon goes, it's a lie, we can just leave this train.
Yeah, but it's not until...
That's where I think it ends. That's where I think the, message is. It's you could, there's this whole... The class system is flawed, which it is.
Yes.
And he gets to the end, and then he's presented with a choice, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that the message ends there, and then instead it is and then we have to end the actual film.
I disagree. I think the message almost doesn't even start until he goes through that door and meets Ed Harris's character and starts learning more about how the train is run. I think that's when the real message actually kicks in.
But then if you say that, then surely we have to accept that the message is that the class system is wrong, because Ed Harris lies to him and it reveals that the class system is evil and flawed because it uses children from the lower class to run the train.
No, yeah, 100%.
And then the final message is people leaving the train and it being guess what? You could have left this train all along. All along.
But that's what I'm saying. It 100% is that the class system is flawed and there are parts of it that do not work. But also, because of that, it does keep the peace for however long that train's been running for. Like, you can't have one without the other. Like, if you didn't have those evil things going on, the train wouldn't be able to operate, so people would all still die.
It's upsetting me because I agree with you up to a certain point, and then you carry on talking, and then I disagree with you, and I really don't want to disagree with you all the time.
No, I think it's fair enough. I'm just saying. I get
what you're saying, but then but the fact that they leave, right?
Yeah.
Because surely the idea of that train, the actual assumedly at the point of this apocalypse happening,
yeah,
everyone gets on this train, and Wilford's like, right, I'm saving humanity, right?
Yes.
And he goes, okay, so to get it to work, I've got to do this class system, whatever. He does that, and it works.
Yeah.
But then he ignores the people that say to him, okay, we can leave. Like, we can leave now. This is because Wilford is just like, everything needs to be on this train, and it's all the train.
Yeah, I mean,
and Namgoon is like, we can leave this train. This train isn't everything anymore. It was, but it isn't.
But he's the only one that's even thought of that because he
he
wasn't even the tail end.
But Wilford wouldn't consider it.
No, definitely not. And I think for me, the way I'm reading that is it's risk versus the same. You know, it's entirely right. You're not going to like this, okay?
Got you.
But it's entirely like the EU referendum, where it's you could keep things going as they are and know that things could carry on, or take a huge risk and things could either be better or worse.
Okay.
Do you see? Yeah, that's as political as I want to get.
Interestingly, another message you could take from this film, which I thought about, and I don't think it's the message anyone was trying to portray.
Yeah.
I hope it wasn't anyway.
Don't eat babies.
All the Koreans are super smart, and every other race on the train is a fool.
Possibly.
Because the only one character that survives is a Korean.
Yep.
And the other Korean that is like a main character is like, we could just leave, and is right.
Yeah.
But then another message you could take, Liam, is that all Koreans are drug addicts.
Not true. Because it's revealed.
No, it's not true.
No. No, I'm saying it's not true that you can take that message away because it's revealed that they don't want it for the drugs. They want it to build the bomb.
No, incorrect, Liam. You're wrong. He doesn't say, I've never been doing it for the drugs. He says, whilst I am addicted to these drugs will also solve the problem.
Yeah.
Him and his daughter have been getting fucking high for the whole film.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah, they're not like... Because, I like that scene where you find out that the drug that they've been taking also works as an explosive.
Yeah, and he does call Chris Evans' character like an idiot.
He's been saving it.
Yeah.
But he also has been getting high.
Yeah, that is true.
That's like finding out heroin cures cancer and heroin addicts being like, hey, you were right.
Yeah, but that's probably not a message to take.
Very confusing in this film.
Yeah, and I think some of the better films do have multiple messages you could take away. And I think the other thing to bear in mind... when you watch a film like this, is if people take away different messages, it's because they're bringing different perspectives to it.
Yeah.
So even if the director is like, right, I made this film, and its only purpose is to basically talk about how bad nuclear war could be, and it would cause the end of the world. Like,
people
doesn't matter.
Find messages that fit their
it doesn't matter if that was the director's purpose. If that doesn't come across properly in the film and you take away something else, that's still entirely valid.
Oh yeah, no, I do agree.
Yeah, because I think even sometimes directors who are trying to make a film with a point, that can get lost.
Yes, and there's also directors that have been like, I wasn't trying to make a point.
Yeah.
But then their film ends up being like a prime example for the point they definitely weren't making.
And not only that, but I think also with some directors, they could make a film when they're younger, and it's not until they're older that they look back at it and they go, oh, I maybe wasn't deliberately, consciously trying to make the point then, but I can see that point being in the film.
Yeah.
So, like, I agree that we shouldn't get too bogged down in what the message is, but because we didn't necessarily see eye to eye on the message, it's still interesting to discuss, and both are still valid.
So yeah, it's because you're high class, so you were like,
I was
to have the class system to work.
I was 100%.
And me being slightly lower class, I'm like, we need to fight the system. I
mean,
get you.
You're the one that lives in the posh, fancy London.
Yeah, I'm the one that lives in posh, fancy London.
Yeah.
Yes, that's what it is. I don't live in a 3-bedroom flat with barely enough space to do anything, and you don't live in a nice country house with a fucking pond.
No. I mean,
you're right. I'm the high class one, yes.
Yeah. I would also say that while the film, using using the film as a language, if you will, right? And I know that sounds really pretentious, but just hear me out.
It does, but go on.
The film does present Ed Harris's character, Wilford, as the villain like, I'd say visually. Like, when you get to him, right, when the story finally gets to him, he is portrayed as the villain, and also because we're following Curtis's perspective.
Yeah.
But you could 100%, if you ignore everything up until that point and just look at it from the final act onwards as two characters talking, without having seen the rest of the film, you could 100% see Curtis as the villain and Ed Harris as the good guy.
Up until a point, yeah.
What's that point?
The point where you find out that he's using children to run the train.
Okay, but I guess this leads into something...
And the point where he gets Gillian shot. Or no, not even that. The point where he rings the guy in the tail end and says, kill 74% of them.
Yes.
And the guy starts shooting people and they scream down the phone.
But this leads to that question.
I don't think anyone would watch that and go, Curtis could be the bad guy.
No, this does lead to the question. Think about how many people Curtis killed to get to there. And also that is why he then needed to kill that however many percent to even it out. Like, you could 100% put that on Curtis's shoulders.
Yeah, but you wouldn't go, Curtis is the bad guy. I agree with you. You can 100% go, it's Curtis's fault.
Yeah.
But there's never... I don't think anyone in human history has killed a mass amount of people to balance something out, and people have gone, yeah, good decision.
Do you think that what Wilford was doing was right or wrong? Like, should he have been keeping that many people alive at the cost of a few children, or should he have let everyone die, including the children?
The issue is we don't know when the parts in the front broke down, because I don't think he specifically says, and we don't really get a time frame, so we can't know if the outside was
no.
safe or not.
But let's say you're presented in this. Let's say, because we follow Curtis through this journey, okay? So with the information,
okay, so if I put myself in Curtis's shoes,
yeah, with the information he has at that point, yeah,
I'd say no, I don't take it.
Okay.
I'm gonna take the risk with Namgoon.
So you would risk everyone and try and get out and hope that...
Oh, no, I wouldn't risk everyone. I'd go out with Namgoon. If I die, carry on, Wilford. Don't matter to you. You just find someone else.
How are you going to get out without risking everyone? Because surely by blowing a hole through the train...
That's Namgoon's plan, but we know that 7 people... From the film, we know that 7 people escaped the train and didn't kill the whole train.
Yeah, okay.
And assumedly, there are people in that tail section that know how the 7 did it, because it wasn't before, like, people on that train. It's not like multiple generations.
It sounded like the train doors froze over at some point, but those 7 people could have got out before the train doors froze over. Because has it ever said like when those 7 people got out?
What?
Right. So timeline of events. At some point in this timeline. 7 people got out of the train, yeah?
Yes.
We don't know when, right?
No.
Also, at some point in that timeline, the door that gets you out froze over, which is why they needed to explode it open. So what I'm saying is it could be that those 7 people got out before that point in time where the door froze over. It's not actually said in the film which way that is. So we don't know if there's another way out or not. And as Curtis, in that situation, you would not have that information.
I'd blow the fuck out that door, yeah.
Okay, so you would risk everyone.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. Which I think is kind of like what the film is suggesting is the heroic thing to do.
It's also proved right at the end of the film, because we see 2 people surviving in the cold.
But you wouldn't have known that at that point.
Oh, no, but I'm saying I wouldn't have known it at that point, but I would have very quickly been proved right.
Yeah, if you had have been right.
No, but you're placing it in the universe of the film, where we find out that 100% you can survive outside the train at this point in time. So I wouldn't have known, but I'd have been right.
Well, right. When you say you can survive, you can definitely get out of the train. Survival from that point on is a complete unknown, because it didn't look like there was a lot of...
that's the whole end of the film, is you see life outside the train. That's
you see a polar bear.
Scene is, Liam.
Yeah, but... Right, so you've got however many people in that train, okay? That you then have to find food for, shelter,
I don't. What are you talking about?
Clothing.
I'm the fuck out of the train. I can go do whatever the hell I want.
Oh, okay, right. So that's if you're you.
Yeah, if I'm not the leader of everyone, because I'm Jack Kempster and I definitely can't lead anyone.
No.
I'll be honest. If I got... Liam, I'll be dead honest with you. If I got out of that train, and even if it turned out I was right? Mm-hmm. So let's say in this hypothetical world that we've created here, Liam, which we love, I blow open those train doors, I get out, Namgoon's there, all of them are there, everyone gets out, Wilford comes out, and he's like, holy shit, you were right.
Yeah.
I'm going to ride my train off, but you were right.
Yeah.
Fair enough. And I'm like, that's cool, Wilford. People can go with you. It's cool. And then someone from the tail end comes up to me and they go, what do we do now, Jack? I would turn the fuck to them and I would say, are you really asking me? Because can you not see me? Do you think I am the choice to make here?
Yeah, that's a good point. I will say, my first thought when they got out of the train, because they're basically now humanity's sole chance of survival,
Yeah,
right?
is that humanity is not going to survive because it's going to be an inbred fuckfest for at least, 10 generations, right?
Yeah, well, not only that, but, she's got to wait 10 years for...
Oh, yeah, no, seriously, I don't think those two would survive.
No.
I think Timmy dies. I reckon Timmy dies.
Yeah.
And Yonya, maybe she goes explores the world and has a whale of a time.
Yeah. I do think, like I said, the last 2 minutes just didn't quite work for me. And I get what they were trying to do with it. But again, I feel like when it explodes, there's a scene where the train kind of comes off the tracks and just stops in the snow. And I 100% would have been happy for the film to stop there. Where you don't know who survives the explosion or what happens next. I just think that would have been a much more powerful ending.
I agree.
But I'm very much a fan of those endings that leave things up in the air and don't resolve things. Whereas I know, maybe other cinema goers kind of would want more resolution than that.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I prefer endings that leave it ambiguous.
Yeah, because I think we'd be having a much different discussion if it was... We would basically be discussing, was it the right thing to do or not knowing that outcome, which I think would be a lot more interesting.
Yep, that's why I like discussing stuff like that with my friend. When we see an ambiguous ending, I like having that discussion where you're like, what do you think happened?
So, Snowpiercer, what would you give out of 5?
I think I'd give it a 4.
Yeah?
Yep.
It's a pretty solid score.
Yeah.
Any reason for that?
I've watched it twice now, and I really enjoyed it.
Did you enjoy it more on the second watch?
I don't really remember the first time I watched it, because it was at uni, I think.
Okay. I mean,
it must have been close to, its release, I think.
It only came out in 2013, so it couldn't have been that long ago.
Yeah, so I think I watched it towards the end of university.
Yeah.
Possibly in that last year. Maybe even not slightly after, but I just really... this time I definitely enjoyed it and thought it was good.
Yeah, I mean, I will admit, that whole speech about his past was just gripping, I thought.
Yeah, that's a really good thing.
Yeah, exactly. One thing, it's not clear to me if he can speak Korean or not.
Yes, I think that might be deliberately ambiguous as well.
Okay, because a lot of they have a translating machine that they use a lot, but then there are also times when that's not being used, but he's still understanding what's being said.
Yes. Yeah, I think that's kind of... I don't know if it's deliberate, but I think it is sort of intentionally because there are scenes where he gets insulted by Namgoon.
Yeah.
And you're like... But you could easily see Curtis ignoring it because he's so dedicated to, finishing this thing. Yeah.
And I will say that there was definitely a couple of scenes that I thought... I personally had to rewind to kind of figure it out, because I definitely missed it when I first watched it.
Like what?
So there's a scene... You've got, a typical henchman bad guy who's, almost unstoppable, right? And there's a scene where Curtis has been knocked out, he's on the floor, and the bad guy's about to stab him with a knife.
Yeah.
And another character stops him by putting his hand in front.
Yeah.
I had to rewind and watch that again to figure out what happened there, because just the way it was framed, to me, it wasn't clear that what that other character was doing. So, so then the next scene is he stood up and he has the knife in his hand, and I was like, wait a second, what? How did that happen? And I had to rewind to figure that out, because at first I thought it was Curtis had put his hand up or something.
Oh, okay.
So that was one. And the other one was right before the door scene. In the corner of the screen, the girl, Yuna was her name?
Mm-hmm.
She faints, and then then the two characters kind of just ignore that and talk, and it goes back and she's just lying down. And I missed her fainting in the corner the first time, so all of a sudden she was lying down, and I had to rewind and be like, wait, what did I miss? Why is
that
she...
when they're standing near the door?
Yeah.
She didn't faint, Liam.
What did she do?
She's tripping balls on drugs.
Oh, well, whatever, she fucking collapses.
I love how innocent your mind is with all the drugs in this film.
I'm not a druggy person.
Neither am I, particularly.
No.
But I just love that your mind just doesn't even comprehend them. You're like, she's
no,
just having a little faint, and I don't get it.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I saw.
Fair enough. You're so innocent.
Yeah.
Go on, what's your score?
3 out of 5.
Fair enough. I'd suggest at some point in the future, not soon, but I'd suggest you go back and watch it again and we see whether it changes.
It is literally just because it was probably a good half of the film that I didn't really like, and then the last half of the film I did.
I'm wondering if you'll have the same thing I did, where you go back and then you're like, oh, okay.
I'd be curious what our listeners think.
Yeah.
So tell me, how could they let us know?
You can let us know by tweeting us at nerdonnerd or writing us an email to nerdonnerdpod@gmail.com. Or I guess you could also comment on this because it will be a YouTube video.
That's true. And how could they find us on YouTube?
Search. It's called A Fleshlight. Episode 1, Nerd on Nerd.
That'll do it. And also, if you
If
don't
you're
mind,
on YouTube listening to this, you've already found us, so don't do that.
yeah. But if you haven't, maybe look for us on YouTube and give us a little cheeky subscription. It will help us out.
And we might at some point give you videos.
No, we will. We've filmed videos. I just need
have.
to edit them when I'm not editing the podcast. And don't forget, next time, High School Musical.
Yay.
So we're excited. Like at least half of us are excited.
Yeah, 50% of the hosts are excited.
Yes. And the other 50% might be saying, I wish I'd been more excited.
Even if I enjoy it, I don't think I'll say I wish I was more excited.
No, it's annoying because you've already said that you might enjoy it, so I don't get to be like, oh, you were going to hate it. And
Yeah, I think if I enjoy it, it's going to be less exciting for you, because I'll be like, yeah, I said I probably would.
Yeah, so my I think the best outcome we could possibly have for the show is that you love it. Like, if you just enjoy it and you're like, yeah, it was alright, that's going to be a boring episode. But if you fucking love it, if you're like, where has this film been all my life? I can't wait to watch the sequel and the third one. That'd be a much better show.
No, the much better show would be if we completely disagree and I despise it.
No, because I'm already anticipating that, and I'll just say, well, I told you so.
Sorry. So when you said better for the show, you meant better for you.
That is generally what makes it better for the show.
Bye!
Bye!